Welcome back to the deep dive. We're not just scratching the surface here, we go deep to pull out those insights that, well, genuinely help you stay informed. Today, we're tackling something super relevant for pretty much anyone working these days. Those sneaky, hidden work habits that kind of push us towards burnout without us even noticing. So our mission today, we're going to unpack some really interesting stuff from Dr. Duke Burgess. We'll shine a light on these, let's call them toxic work habits. But more importantly, we're aiming to give you some solid, actionable strategies, things you can actually use to break free and build a, healthier, more productive relationship with work. Dr. Burgess has some great practical insights here, really research-backed stuff.
Yeah, and what's striking about her work is just how common these habits are. We often do them without even thinking. Sometimes we even think they're like good things, signs of dedication, maybe. People often see them as keys to success. But the research actually shows they undermine our well-being and, honestly, our effectiveness in the long run. So for anyone in the modern workplace, just recognizing these patterns, it's not just helpful, it's pretty crucial. It's really that first step to getting your focus back, your energy back.
That's a really important way to frame it because, yeah, we do wear them like badges of honor sometimes. Okay, let's jump in. First up, Dr. Burgess points to something huge in our digital world, the pressure to be always reachable, for those instant responses. Feels like the ultimate modern expectation, doesn't it? Like constant pinging.
It absolutely does. And Dr. Burgess is very clear this is toxic. Why? Because constant availability with immediate responses distracts focus from work and causes burnout. And the key thing here is the cognitive cost. It's not just a quick switch when you jump to respond. Your brain is doing this heavy lifting, context switching, and that costs you. There's a real drop in efficiency, and it ramps up mental fatigue, often way more than you realize. It's like running too many programs at once on your computer, right?
Yeah.
It just slows everything down.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Grinds to a halt.
Exactly. So the practical solutions she offers are really about taking back control. Like schedule specific time blocks just for checking messages, don't let the alerts run your day, and definitely set do not disturb during your deep work, your focus hours, protect that time. And maybe the biggest one, set and actually communicate boundaries for when you're off. It's about managing expectations, not just your own actions.
That difference between what you do and what others expect. Yeah, that's huge. It's not just turning off notifications, is it? It's making it clear that you are off. What strikes you about the social side of setting these boundaries? Because it sounds simple, but, well, a lot of people find it really tough.
That's a great question. Dr. Burgess found the biggest hurdle often isn't the tech, it's that fear. Fear of looking uncommitted or like you're not pulling your weight. So she really emphasizes clear, proactive communication. That's your best tool. Something simple like, hey team, I check emails at 10 and 3. If it's truly urgent, call me. That can totally reset expectations. It gives you control back without damaging those working relationships.
Right, proactive communication. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And speaking of blurred lines, Dr. Burgess brings up our physical spaces as another potential trap. Habit number 2, merging work and personal spaces, which, with remote work, that's just exploded, right?
Oh, definitely. And it's toxic because, as she puts it, eating or spending all day at or around your desk merges work and life, reducing the mental break. Your brain essentially never gets the signal that it's okay to switch off from work mode if your environment is constantly screaming work at you. Her research suggests this kind of physical blending can lead to this persistent, low-level stress. You're always sort of on standby.
Never really switching off.
Exactly. So the advice is pretty straightforward, but the impact can be quite profound. Create a dedicated workspace. Make it distinct, separate from your personal space, even if it's just a specific corner that you visually mark off. And take real breaks away from that space. Schedule them in. And a really simple but powerful one, actually leave your desk for meals. Use it as a mental reset. It's about creating that physical distance to help your mind disengage.
Yeah, it's amazing how just moving even a few feet can change your headspace. A physical cue for the brain. Okay, let's shift gears a bit from physical space to priorities. The next habit, canceling self-care because work demands it. Oh man, we've all done this one. Just one more email turning into midnight.
And that's exactly why it's so damaging. Dr. Burgess states it plainly, quote, sacrificing breaks, sleep, or exercise for work leads to exhaustion and poor productivity. What her research really underscores is that this isn't just about feeling tired. You're actively trying to run on empty. And the quality of your work, it demonstrably suffers. Your decision-making gets worse. Your creativity drops. It's not just about feeling bad. It's about performing worse. A short-term gain for a big, long-term loss.
Running on empty.
So the solutions are clear. Treat self-care like it's non-negotiable. Because it is. It's not a luxury. It's foundational for actually performing well over time. You need to set specific times for breaks, for exercise, for just relaxing. Put them in your calendar like any important meeting. And here's the crucial mindset shift. Remind yourself constantly that a healthier you is a more effective you at work. It's an investment, not a cost.
An investment, not a cost.
Yeah.
I really like that framing. Changes the whole perspective. Which leads us neatly into the next point, what Dr. Burgess calls the always-on mentality, the whole hustle culture thing. It feels so baked into our idea of success these days.
It really is, and it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
This habit is toxic because, again, constantly grinding without breaks leads to exhaustion, burnout, and lower productivity. Dr. Burgess found this isn't the path to peak performance at all. It's more like a race to the bottom. Creativity, long-term satisfaction, those are the first things to go. It can even negatively impact your brain's ability to focus over time. Neuroplasticity suffers.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So breaking free means you have to consciously redefine success for yourself. Include balance in that definition, not just sheer output. Actively schedule real breaks, actual time off to recharge, not just physically, mentally too. And importantly, focus on deep work instead of just busy work. Concentrate intensely on those high-value tasks. That's where the real breakthroughs happen anyway, and it's much more sustainable.
Deep work over busy work.
Okay.
Yeah, focusing on impact, not just activity. Okay, let's talk email, the dreaded inbox. Habit 5, treating emails as urgent.
This one's toxic because checking email as soon as you wake up or obsessively makes you reactive and stressed. Think about it. Dr. Burgess found that if the first thing you do is check email, you're immediately pulled into other people's agendas. Your day gets set by external demands, not your own strategic goals. You're basically starting the day on the back foot, reacting instead of being proactive.
That makes total sense. You lose control of your morning, your priorities.
Exactly. So to counter this, avoid the inbox first thing. Simple but hard. Use filters to flag what's genuinely important, and instead of constant checking, deal with emails in batches. Schedule specific times for it. That puts you back in the driver's seat.
Being proactive, not reactive with email. Got it. Okay, next up, something often seen as a skill, over-relying on multitasking. People even put it on their resumes. But is it actually efficient?
Well, usually it's a big misconception. Dr. Burgess has a lot of research on this. She points out it's toxic because trying to juggle tasks reduces effectiveness on each one, increasing mistakes and stress. Our brains just aren't built for effectively doing multiple complex things at the exact same time. What feels like multitasking is really just rapid task switching. And every switch has that cognitive cost we talked about. Over time, it can actually kind of shrink your attention span, makes it harder to focus even when you want to.
Shrink your attention span. That's scary.
It is. So the advice is to batch similar tasks together. Keeps your brain in the same mode, schedule dedicated blocks for single tasks, dive deep, no interruptions, and just remember, focus increases quality, not just speed, quality. Doing one thing well is way better than juggling many things poorly.
Focus increases quality. Simple but powerful. Okay, what about meetings? The bane of modern work. Habit 7, saying yes to every single meeting invite. We've all been there, right? Back-to-back meetings all day.
Oh, absolutely. And Dr. Burgess flags this as toxic because accepting every invite may seem right, but it's inefficient and often unproductive. Think about the disruption. Meetings constantly break your flow state. They eat up valuable time you could use for focused work, especially if your input isn't actually essential. And the lost time isn't just the meeting itself, it's the time it takes to get back into your groove afterwards.
Right, the ramp-up time after.
Exactly. So the strategies are about being selective. Really prioritize meetings where your input is critical. Are you a key decision maker? Do you have unique information? If not, maybe you don't need to be there. And block out time in your calendar for your own focused work. Treat it like an important appointment because it is. Don't let people book over it easily. And, don't be afraid to suggest alternatives. Could this be an email, a quick Slack message, a short call? Sometimes that works just as well.
Giving yourself permission to say no or suggest something else.
Yeah.
That takes practice. Okay, another really common one. Working through lunch.
Yeah.
Eating at the desk. Typing away.
Toxic habit number 8. Why? Because skipping lunch for work might seem productive, but leads to burnout and mental fatigue. That break, even a short one, is crucial. It replenishes your mental energy, your physical energy. Dr. Burgess's work shows without it, your afternoon productivity often just tanks. So you end up working longer hours anyway to get the same amount done. It's a false economy, really.
A false economy of time?
Yeah. So the solutions are simple, but again, powerful. Block your lunch break on your calendar, treat it seriously, stick to it, eat mindfully, step away from the screen, the emails, the work talk, and if you can, maybe take a short walk, just clear your head. Reset before diving back in. Even 10 minutes can make a huge difference.
Those little resets really do add up. Okay, next, giving in to what Dr. Burgess calls false urgency. That feeling that everything needs to be done right now.
Yes, that constant hum of urgency. It's toxic because responding to everything as urgent creates stress and diminishes the genuine priorities. Dr. Burgess explains it really well. When everything is urgent, then nothing really is. You lose perspective. This constant state of high alert, it leads to chronic stress, and it stops you from focusing on the stuff that has real long-term impact. You're just putting out small fires while the important projects are neglected.
Putting out fires.
Yeah.
Yeah, constantly reactive.
Exactly. So how do you manage it? Well, first, clarify deadlines. Don't be afraid to ask, is this truly urgent or does it just feel that way? Prioritize based on actual impact, real importance, not just whoever shouted loudest. And communicate. Manage expectations proactively. Don't let someone else's poor planning become your emergency. It's about regaining perspective.
Differentiating actual urgency from perceived urgency. That's key. Okay, now for one that really hits home for a lot of people, trading family time and special moments for work. This is where it really bites into our personal lives.
Yeah, this one is particularly tough. Dr. Burgess really emphasizes how toxic this is because sacrificing family time for late work erodes connections and leaves you mentally drained.
Yeah.
Those moments, dinner with family, kids events, time with your partner, they're irreplaceable. Losing them contributes massively to overall dissatisfaction and, yes, to burnout. The emotional toll is huge.
Irreplaceable moments.
Totally. So to protect that vital part of life, set a clear no-work rule after a certain hour, and really commit to it. Turn off the work notifications outside those hours. Create a genuine disconnect, mental and physical. And, circling back to an earlier point, communicate these boundaries clearly. Let colleagues know your availability so they respect your time. It's about being fully present wherever you are.
Being present, so important. Okay, final habit Dr. Burgess highlights, avoiding delegating. That feeling of, it's just faster if I do it myself.
Right, that classic trap. And it's toxic because, as Dr. Burgess found, trying to do it all yourself builds stress and limits the growth of other team members. You become the bottleneck. You put all this pressure on yourself, and you actually hold back your team. You deny them chances to learn, to grow, to take ownership. It stifles everyone, including you as a leader.
Limits team growth. Hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's a double whammy. So, how to brush free? Identify tasks that can be delegated, even if it takes a bit of time up front to explain or train someone. Give clear instructions, and then this is the hard part for some, trust them. Trust their abilities. Let go a little. Your focus should shift to the tasks where your unique skills are truly essential, where you add the most strategic value. It's about empowering others while freeing yourself up.
Wow, okay. That's quite a list, 11 habits from Dr. Burgess. It really makes you stop and think, how many of these creep into our daily routines, doesn't it? Often without us fully realizing the cumulative damage.
It really does. And if you look at the big picture, the common thread through all of them, it's really a lack of clear boundaries. Boundaries between work and life, between what's urgent and what's important, between what you have to do and what others can do. They all kind of stem from not being intentional enough, and maybe not valuing our well-being on the same level as productivity. Breaking free is really about consciously deciding to manage your energy, your focus, and think about your long-term effectiveness.
Right. So, summing it up, what Dr. Burgess shows us isn't just a list of annoying habits. These are serious, research-backed ways we contribute to our own burnout and actually make ourselves less effective. But the good news, the really good news, is that for every single one, there are clear, doable steps you can take. You can overcome them, reclaim your time, your energy, and maybe find more fulfillment in work.
Exactly right. And breaking these habits, it's not just about dodging burnout. It's about building a way of working that's sustainable, that's effective, and ultimately, yeah, more fulfilling. It lets you bring your best self, your focused self, your creative self, not just to your job, but to everything else in your life, too. It enables a more balanced, more impactful way of living.
Totally. A more balanced, impactful life. Okay, so thinking about all these 11 habits and the impact just changing one or two could have, here's something to chew on. What might be the ripple effect across a whole team, maybe even a whole company, if people started breaking free from even just a couple of these toxic patterns together? Something to think about until our next deep dive.